All right, we told you about reports that Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson is a no vote as things stand now on that Senate measure that's being bounced around there on the tax cuts. But that doesn't mean he's necessarily a permanent no vote. He said we have an opportunity, this is a statement coming from the senator, to enact paradigm-shifting tax reform that makes American businesses globally competitive and helps our economy reach its full potential. Goes on to say that this essentially doesn't do that he wants to do something that helps smaller S-type companies and the rest. I do, however, look forward to working with my colleagues to address this disparity, again, between smaller and bigger firms, so I could support the final version. So he's a no vote now, but he seems to be telegraphing not a no vote forever. All right, we'll see, whatever that means. Then there's this.
During our visit, President Xi pledged to faithfully implement United Nations Security Council resolutions on North Korea and to use his great economic influence over the regime to achieve our common goal of a denuclearized Korean peninsula.
All right, the president moments ago sending the signal that he hopes to be working with the Chinese to make sure it happens, and the North Koreans sort of back down from this. The author of Nuclear Showdown, so much else, Gordon Chang, with us right now. Gordon, as far as I know, I mean, the Chinese are sending sort of like an emissary, if you will, to North Korea to try to dial this back a little bit. What do you think happens?
Well, I think that certainly President Trump put a lot of pressure on his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, so the Chinese decided that it was time to send someone to talk to Kim Jong-un. You know, this is clearly the result of the president's visit to Beijing, and it's a good sign. Now, I don't know what the Chinese are going to say. They could probably say something that is not going to help our interests. But nonetheless, Trump has gotten the balls rolling, and this could actually end up pretty well for us.
You know, Gordon, I was wondering, I know the Chinese have already committed to freezing all financial assets and their entire banking system to make sure no money gets to North Korea. I guess for now we take them on their word. They're honoring that. But I do wonder, the added wrinkle here has been some disturbing news out of China, economic news that shows that this once, financial juggernaut is losing steam. And I'm wondering how that is playing into this, and that the Chinese don't want to lose America.
Well, they certainly don't want to. You know, you played that sound from President Trump, and I'm sure a lot of people were rolling their eyes because previous presidents have said similar things. But President Trump actually has the ability to push China in the direction we want. So, for instance, there is his September 21 executive order from President Trump, which tells countries they can't do business with the United States if they do business with North Korea. President Trump could declare a Chinese bank a primary money laundering concern, cutting it off from the global financial system. And then there's the Section 301 trade investigation into China's theft of intellectual property. Any one of those by themselves could push the Chinese economy over the edge. All three of them actually could be a mortal threat. And I think Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, knows that.
Do you trust the Chinese to deliver on this, though, to do it if for no other reason than out of their own interest?
No. The Chinese calculate their interests that North Korea helps them by provoking the United States, putting it on the back foot, all sorts of things. But this is not an issue of China's intentions. This is an issue of what President Trump will do. How far will our president go in marshaling all the elements of our national power to make sure that Beijing does the right thing? And previous presidents haven't been willing to do that. President Trump has given some signals that he will do so. So this is an American issue, Neil. It's not a China one.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Gordon Chang, Nuclear Showdown author. So much